Good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Great. All right, DC. I have the great pleasure of being the Senior Vice President of Education here at the Kennedy Center. My name is Mario Rosero. Hearty good evening to everyone tonight. We're so glad you joined us. You may or may not know that this time every year we host our annual Art Summit at the Kennedy Center. It's happening on Monday. And that program is really a full day of conversations and presentations and artistic sharing around social issues and problems that we're facing as a society and how the arts play a key role in solving some of those problems. This year has a focus on storytelling. As a unique feature of the Art Summit, for the last 4 years, we have had the Citizen Artist Fellows Program. And this is a recognition where communities across the country nominate artists that they really care about and feel that represent their ideas, and really that the artists are fighting for that community and are really sharing their artistic powers for good and for change. And so we're really thrilled that this year we'll have our returning 18-19 cohort, and we're also welcoming our brand new 19-20 cohort, many of which are in the audience tonight. So welcome to each of you. Yay! We'll have lots of time together all weekend. So as part of this celebration of citizen artists, we've been able to host a few of them on our Millennium stage and through other means this week. And so I'm really thrilled that my good friend and colleague, Pong, who's one of our Citizen Artist Fellows right now, has been able to join us and share a project and a piece of work that she's been doing in Boston called Code Listen. So you have more details in your program book, but please know this is really about the power of music to bring communities together and to really heal through art making and through that kind of sharing. This is a really powerful individual, and she's going to just say a few words before we get started, but thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Code Listen is about the power of listening. So I'm really grateful for you to be here with your presence and with your ears and your hearts to listen to the amazing people that are about to grace this stage. You're going to hear from members of the Boston Police Department, from mothers and teens who are members of Legacy Lives On, an amazing organization of homicide survivors, people who've lost loved ones to homicide, who support each other and build each other and build their communities up in a lot of amazing ways. You're going to hear some stories that will move you, and some stories that will thrill you, and some stories that will make you sad. And I hope you'll just be with us through all of that, because we are happy to be with you. We've come with love. So thank you so much. And without further ado, Code Listen.
Go. What the fuck is wrong with you? I know what you mean. Losing a son causes so much heartache and pain. Even hearing the sound of his name will drive us mothers insane. My insanity and pain, will I ever be the same? There's a big part of me looking for peace and harmony. My insanity and pain, will I ever be the same? There's a big part of me looking for peace and harmony.
Faith is something we all believe, fix our community so we all succeed. So many egos, tarnished and bruised. It's not your decision who wins or who loses. Everyone owns a piece of the blame. It's just new players, not a new game. In order to make our community great, everyone here must participate. Let's stop the violence, have racism end. Start real small, make a new friend. The rules keep changing, you can't pretend. We fight together in order to win. Stand up for what's right, don't waver at all. We fight together or together we fall.
How has violence in our cities affected you? How has violence in your cities affected you?
It affects me, it affects you. I got love for my city, but do you?
Every time I watch the news, another one falls, so we think about them when we hear this song. Why can't we all just get along? When you take our brothers, you hurt our mothers, you hurt our fathers, you hurt our sons, you hurt our sisters, you hurt our daughters.
My insanity and pain, will I ever be the same? There's a big part of me looking for peace and harmony. My insanity and pain, will I ever be the same? There's a big part of me looking for peace and harmony.
I will never understand hate.
I will never understand hate. I will never understand hate. I will never understand hate.
When I was a young teenager, around 14 to 15 years old, I lived in the Dorchester section of the city of Boston. All I did back then was went to school, went to work, and played basketball. I played basketball with my friends in the community. We played on a basketball hoop on a street corner. One particular day, we're playing basketball, and I'm one of the older kids out there on the street, and we see a police car coming. We stopped playing the game, and we separated and walked to either side of the street to let the cruiser go by. They didn't go by. They stopped between us. Two officers got out, started yelling at us and slamming us against the cruiser. They started grabbing us in places where little kids should not be grabbed. There was one kid, about 11 years old, a sweet, sweet heart of a kid named Chris. They were slamming him against the rear quarter panel of this cruiser, and he started crying. The more he cried, the more we yelled at the police. The more we yelled at them, the angrier they got, and the more they slammed this 11-year-old kid against the car. They eventually put handcuffs on this 11-year-old, threw him in the back of a cruiser, and drove away with him. The rest of us ran to Chris's home to tell his mom what happened. That broke our hearts that day. That broke my heart. Kids don't need people looking down on them. They need people to look up to. That's one of the main reasons I became a police officer. So there's one less of those out there.
And why, now that we're reaching schools where white kids are or other nationalities are, now it's becoming a concern because they're worried now. And their kids are getting a hold of guns that they're supposedly to be locking up rifles where they're going hunting, and their kids are shooting their parents or doing stuff like that. So now guns can, be made a big deal, but our kids have been dying forever. This has been happening, like we're, sad to say, adjusted to this type of stuff happening in our neighborhood, and we should never be able to be adjusted to this foolishness or it be normal to us. You know what I mean? It's normal, but it's not normal.
Dear Rashad and Lloyd, Mommy really miss you. I met a lot of people along my journey who helped me get through. I received my first award in 2012 in memory of you both. I never thought I'd make it this far. My biggest challenge was growth. I thought I was gonna lose my mind. Guess what? I gained more strength. Today, my purpose is to love and forgive and take care of me 100%. I participated in a restorative justice retreat at Norfolk State Prison. I met a lot of men who murdered and committed crimes out of selfishness and poor decisions. I heard a saying, men don't cry. Well, that's a lie. I witnessed many tears, along with pain and emotions, sincerity and devotion from those seeking change who truly cared. I heard stories about murders during impact statements, with tears overflowing from remorse. Dear Rashad and Lloyd, I hope you understand forgiveness increased my access to a higher source. I believe in change, I believe in forgiveness. I believe there is hope for those in prison. I made a promise to God, if he healed my broken heart, I would serve him through those that are living. Dear Rashad and Lloyd, I wrote you this letter on behalf of my pain and my purpose. Pain can make you change. Life without you will never be the same, but my journey is our story, and it's worth this.
We're not birthing kids to be killed. This is not a movie, a script. This is our real life reality. And so many people out here are struggling and hurting. We're living in a hurt world. And they always ask the question, what can we do to make it better? It's a lot they can do to make it better at no cost. If they would just listen and just hear us, survivors. Because a lot of us don't just talk from anger, we talk from peace. These kids for 9 months. We feel the growth. We birthed them into a world. What world we birthed our kids into today?
My brother's death had a big impact on my family. He was the glue that held us together. His name was Burrell. Burrell. Beautiful, understanding, respectful, responsible, excellent, lovable, and lively.
It's sad because I would give my life to save somebody else's life. But that person could hate me just because. People hate me without knowing me.
People hate me, they hate me without knowing me. People hate me, they hate me based on what they see. People hate me. Hate me without knowing me.
it comes to being a cop, I'm big on community policing. I like to talk and say hello to almost everyone I encounter. My partner will even say to me sometimes, Steve, do you have to talk to everybody? And I really believe that communication is key to, policing, and it can save a life. One time I was helping kids cross at a high school, and I heard what sounded like gunshots behind me. So I ran back to see what was going on, and I found a young man, holding his stomach, with an apparent gunshot wound. But on the other hand, he was holding a knife, and I wanted to help him, but he still was a threat, so I had to order him to drop the knife multiple times before I could help him. So finally, after multiple commands to drop the knife, he dropped it. I was able to, render medical attention and, talk to him, like, who did this to you? Do you know what he looked like? Do you know where they went? And he looked at me and he said, I'm not talking to you. And it's tough, we want to help, but we can't help them unless they help us.
It all started in 1619, came to North America. The Dutch had a dream of growing money on trees in the area. If you were dark and able, you were put on ships by the ladder superior. It didn't matter if you were from Ghana, Mali, or Nigeria. Taken by the thousands, because the more the merrier. I'm talking fleets of ships filled to capacity resembling naval carriers. But do you know what's scarier? They get stronger as we get warier. Look at me. What does society tell you to see? Charcoal characteristics gleaming in the sad sun. Blurry perception perpetuated through a gun. Marked members talking negativity with a nun. Man, I tell you, this life ain't fun. Magnificent minds with potent power, picking petals off the frigid flower. Man, I'm tired of it, but we're all in this. But just in case, this is the opposite of literal shunning. The plan is the topic is race, but we're still running. The plan is on pace and very cunning. And the invasion? The invasion proved whimsical. We're the same but different, like the Paul exclusion principle. My black sisters, you are formidable. Your presence and beauty is nothing but nutritional. My white sisters, don't feel left out and miserable. You too are pivotal. My black brothers, they hang and shoot when haters for our color. My black brothers were labeled and chained as soon as we leave our mothers. My black brothers spread love instead of drugs amongst one another. My white brothers, you might feel smothered since the dust covered, but it's okay, you can recover and rediscover how they're undercover. Now tell me this, have you seen what rose from the abyss? Ships with wheels, now does that make sense? And the shackles? The shackles never came off. They're on their way to the penitentiary with bus loads of black men because the tactics are still elementary. And once I'm in, to leave the system, that can never be. Especially when you go through that entry with the chain assembly. Man, I was just rewriting the 17th century. But wait, isn't that a distant memory? No, people, look around. This is our humanity. We're all so obsessed with our own vanity. We're not looking through this insanity. My brothers and sisters, we're divided, maybe a little misguided, but we're here to make straight to the lopsided.
When I was a young police officer, I worked in the South End of Boston. I had a partner pretty much every night. We worked in an area that had a housing development. And the kids in the housing development hung out together at night, especially during the summertime. One particular night, I'm working alone. My partner took the night off. So I'm driving by the housing development, and there's a group of kids out there. And mind you, this is after midnight. One person in the group stood out to me. There was one kid standing in front of the group, and he was looking at me in a way that meant he didn't like me too much. If he could harm me with his gaze, I'd be hurt. So I keep watching this kid as I'm driving by the group. He continues to stare at me. I drive past the group. I make a U-turn, and I start to travel back to them in the cruiser. The kid's still staring. I stop the cruiser. I get out, and I start walking toward the group. As I began to walk toward him, the kid kept staring, but when I got closer, he broke his gaze. He stopped looking directly at me. That tells me that I can talk to this kid. So I get close to him, and I go, hey, you gonna say hi, or are you just gonna stare? I caught him off guard. He goes, oh, what's up, man? What's up, man? Stuck his hand out. I shook his hand, and I introduced myself to him and the other kids who didn't know me. These kids hang out in their neighborhood like all of us do. There was one particular kid in that neighborhood who worked hard, went to school, but hung out with his friends when he was off. On one night, my partner and I were patrolling that same area. We saw a group out there. We stopped them, and a couple of them were doing something they shouldn't be doing. They were violating the law. But that kid who worked hard and went to school was in the group. So I pulled him aside. Let me talk to you. I says, kid, I'm not going to tell you who your friends should be. But you know who your friends are, and you know which ones are doing dirt. Some of your friends aren't doing right. And as my father used to tell me, if you hang with mangy dogs, you're bound to catch fleas. I left him alone that night. We went on and took care of our business. That kid grew up to become a Boston police officer. He's such a Boston police officer, he's the lead trainer for our SWAT team. He gives me a lot of credit for helping him turn his life around. I don't deserve it. He was a good kid that night. I met him, and he's a good man now.
Being a cop can be really challenging in that no call is ever the same. You just never know what's going to happen. We respond to so many different types of calls, but one of the most dangerous calls to go to is a domestic violence call. And one night I responded to two adult siblings fighting. The sister called, said her brother punched her in the face. So in this case, we had to do something. We had to make an arrest. So we went there. We explained to the brother what was going on, and he was being compliant, But as soon as we went to put the cuffs on him, the sister jumped on my back and started strangling me from behind. And it just goes to show that you just never know what's going to happen at a call. And this can also be frustrating because she called us for help, and then she turned around and changed her mind. You just never, it's unpredictable. But I treat everybody with respect when I go to a call, especially those type of calls, and that can go a long way. Just one more quick story is I was at the gym off duty, and this big guy starts walking over to me, and I didn't know if there was going to be trouble. I got a little nervous, but he came over to me and extended his hand out to me. And he shook my hand, and he said, "You know who I am?" I said, "No." He said, "You arrested me last year, but I remember you being very respectful to me, and I turned my life around, and I want to thank you." And I thought that was pretty cool, and these are the type of things that, are rewarding as being a police officer.
We all are here for a purpose in the journey of our life. Someone think, I'm here just for my own. No. We all are here for a purpose in our life, whatever that may look like. And I think we all find our way as time go on. You just have to listen, pay attention to what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of blessings, a lot of signs pass us by because we're so caught up in everything else. We're caught up in the hurt, the pain, caught up in this and the other, that our purpose is right there in our face. And we're not catching, like we're not able to catch it in sight. It takes other things to bring it to surface.
I miss my son. I miss my child. You took him from me and hid all the while. I miss my son's face. My heart's in a broken place. You took my son without my permission. Now I'm crying, praying, and wishing that justice be served, because if nothing else is what I deserve. You pretend to protect and serve. You got a nerve. You carry a badge and gun, expect a brother not to run. You wear a uniform, pretending to be a cop. When he asked you not to, you raised your gun and shot. Now I'm left to wrap this around my head, that Boston police just shot my son dead. No words of comfort, you said nothing nice. I hope to hell this haunts you for life. A mystery shooter, I know it's weird. He shot my son and disappeared. It wasn't a child from off the street. It was Boston police that walked the beat. Oh yeah, you said he opened fire. But we all know that's cold, you liar. That's what your super told you to say. It makes it easier to clear you that way. Our children are dropping time after time, but to be shot by police, now that's a crime. Then to say his death wasn't violent, it was to me because my life was silence. As my story comes to an end, how do I tell my teenager police are your friend? You reap what you sow, and just so you know, as Burrell's mother, I'll never let this go. No pictures.
Hey, young officer, I want to talk to you. I want to congratulate you on embarking on a wonderful career. It's a great career. But let me tell you a few things about this career that you've embarked upon. You're going to see things that people should not see. You're going to see things that people don't want to see. But you're going to have to be a professional throughout. People are going to try and get into areas that you are going to be stationed to protect. Once that crime scene tape goes up, no one gets into that scene to disturb the evidence. Get out there, kid.
Charlie 425, Adam Robert. 425, I have a person shot. I need an ambulance. I need a push on the ambulance. Ma'am, you can't cross the crime scene tape. This is a secured area right now, and we can't allow evidence to be tampered with. You can't cross the yellow tape. Oh, that's your brother? I am so sorry. And if I could let you see him, trust me, I would. But I can't. Ma'am, please. The white sheet? There's only one medical examiner in the state right now. He's on his way. We're trying to get him here as soon as possible. Yes, I can get you detectives. I can get you a supervisor. I can get you anyone you need to speak to. But I can't let you through. Ma'am, sir, ma'am. I am so sorry for what you are going through. But you cannot cross the crime scene tape.
All I remember was I just kind of fainted, and I just was so hot. And I don't even remember who was touching me, but the touch felt like fire. Like I just didn't want nobody touching me.
So it's like I couldn't get to Boston Medical Hospital fast enough.
I sat in a chair, I waited, and I was like asking, the state police that was there then, my friend Scott was there, and I said, Scott, can you cover him? And the Broccoli police was like, no, we can't cover him because there's evidence and stuff. And Scott was like, I'm covering him. I'm covering him. Why is his mother going to sit there and watch him? So, and I was like, when are they going to come and get him? Because he was laying on rocks and boards and everything, so he had an imprint. Scott called the coroner, and the coroner examiner said, we won't be there until about 8 in the morning because there's a lot going on in the Cape. So I watched my son laid on the ground until 8 o'clock in the morning.
You can't go in there. You cannot touch him. You can't go in there. You cannot touch him. They say he's evidence. They say she's evidence. They say this child's body is evidence. Cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be moved from this hard ground. Cannot be touched, cannot be held, cannot be eased from these sore drugs. Let me see my child carried for 9 months. I must see my child carried for 9 months. I must see my child. He's my flesh, we were once one. I will not touch him, but I must see him. I will not touch him, but I must see him. Let me see my child carried for 9 months. I must see my child. I must see my child, I will not touch him. I promise not to touch him. If I'm in handcuffs, will you let me see him? Let me see my baby. Why won't you let me see my child? That's my baby. That's my baby. Then put me in handcuffs. I must see my child.
It's hard for me to express how I feel. Losing my brother doesn't seem real. Why does everyone want to shoot and kill? Why can't we have fun like going to Shea Blues on Blue Hill?
These crimes must be solved, but the sentence does not resolve the broken hearts, life's torn apart. Justice must be served, but where's the peace we yearn for? With children dying, they keep on dying. They say he's evidence. They say she's evidence. They say this child's body is evidence, evidence of what? Evidence of mother's heart filled, then broken, mother's heart filled, then broken. How do we repair? How do we repair? How do we repair? Rebuild. Rejoice as we face evidence of a life cut short, a child loved by many, loved many. Evidence of a world gone wrong, too many suffering while too many walk by without noticing. Evidence of a world gone wrong, kids killing kids. Evidence of a world gone wrong, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So young, so young, so young. They say he's evidence. They say she's evidence. They say this child's body is evidence, evidence of what? Evidence of hands that cooked for the kids in the park, legs that lifted Ma after her stroke, eyes that adored his baby sister, looked for ways to spoil her, fingers that tickled her belly, arms that carried his own child, mouth that kissed his mother. See you tomorrow, but tomorrow never came. They say he's evidence. We say she's evidence. We say this child's memory is evidence, evidence of what? Evidence of one who loved many, loved by many, 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 loved many, loved by many. He was loved, she was loved, she loved her father, and he loved his mother.
what is justice to an individual though? Like sometimes, you know, in the midst of homicides, people get justice and don't know they got justice, and they hold on to what has happened in their life, and it keeps them bondage, it keeps them loaded. The burden is just over them, like the individual got away for what they did to my loved one, and not us realizing some of them are already, you know, from whatever may have happened, already have justice. And that's why I put my faith and my trust in God in any situation, because a lot of times we don't know everything that's happening, and some things are not meant for us to know. Some things are. You have to trust God. You have to. It's a must, because if you don't, you yourself keep yourself in a prison by yourself.
Hi, my name's Ramona, and I want to tell you a story about my son, Anthony Weeks. He was murdered July the 4th, 2002. I was visiting Norfolk Prison, Restore Justice, and I was sitting in the audience with a lot of the inmates, listening to the story about them being accountable and being sorry. So I'm sitting there just listening to them. Then the staff runs to me, Ramona, come here, come here. And I said, what? What do you want? I didn't do nothing. They was like, no, come to the chapel for a minute. I said, okay. So I walked up to the chapel with them. They're rubbing my back and everything. I said, stop, leave me alone. They said, did you know Anthony's killer was here? I said, no, I forgive him. He was like, he wants to talk to you. I said, okay. So I sat there for about 10 minutes. Finally, George came out. He came up to me, he hugged me, he was crying. He said, I'm sorry. I said, George, I forgive you. I said, but I want you to tell me, did you know Anthony? He said, no, I knew of Anthony. So we sat down and he told me how one day he was standing on Belmont Street waiting for the bus. And it was really cold outside. And of course, Anthony was a big kid, so he ran out the house with his coat. He said, man, are you cold? And George said, yes. Anthony said, here, you can take this coat. I'm a big kid, so the coat's gonna be big on you, but my mother brought me more. So Anthony let him have his coat. So Anthony said, I'll wait for you until the bus comes. And once the bus comes, you can get on it, and then I'll say bye. So once the bus came down from Belmont Street, and George got on it, Anthony said, man, I'll see you soon. It was just like a house lifted off my chest. It felt so good. So once it lifted off my chest, I could keep my son's memory alive. Thank you, Anthony. This story is for you, and thank you for listening to my story.
Being at Norfolk Prison was bittersweet for me. It was a place where Raheem used to be before the bullet took him away from me. MCI Norfolk Prison, a cell, what most considered hell, a sea of beautiful black young men locked in a pen because of their sin. So upon my arrival, I was extremely overwhelmed with their manners and utmost respect. Miss Cura, they say, seeing some I grew up with, some I thought were dead, some you wouldn't even suspect. However, we all live with regret, and only one choice away from being in handcuffs and drug away. The men spoke of neglect and committing crimes for respect, hearing from strangers how Raheem's jokes brighten their day. And it wasn't until that powerful closing statement when Raheem's childhood friends addressed me with a gift of apology for not leading Raheem in the right way or leading him astray. It's this brotherhood, they say, until the dying day. As parents, we feel as if we're the influence, but the streets are. They're powerful and they're cold, and they accept them for who they are. So don't get down if your son or daughter chooses the wrong road. Just know you've trained them in the way that they should go. And if they stray, don't beat yourself up or feel it's because of you. Somewhere in their walk, they'll start anew. Had a man confessed to a murder, he lied for 62 years, lied to his mother, so many tears, feeling her son was innocent over the years. Hundreds of appeals. It wasn't until he heard my voice, our voices, and our cries that he revealed his truth, saying his victim's name for the very first time and confessing to his crime. So I want to leave you with this. Now you can bring hope where there's been discouragement. Now you can show prisoners the way to freedom, and now we can be their light in the darkness.
Gather round as we come together. 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 Circle up, circle up. Circle up, circle up. Circle up, circle up. We come together as one. Like water, like water, like bodies of water. There's only one ocean. Like bodies of water, we connect, we connect.
Some of us forgive, some of us don't. Some of us move on and some of us won't. Some of us feel pain and some of us are numb. It hurts when you lose a daughter or a son. Situations are different, so we shouldn't compare. Let's look for solutions to the death and despair. The violence is rampant, does anyone care? It's not just an urban thing, it's everywhere.
Circle up, circle up. Circle up, circle up. Circle up, circle up. We come together as one.
Detective Hubie Valmont on the saxophone. For Code Listen. Legacy lives on. Please take a bow. And teen empowerment and legacy lives on together. From the Boston Police Department, Carleen Desir, Stephen Collette, Jeremiah Benton, Hubert Valmont, and Sergeant John Burns. From Sound Impact, our amazing string quartet. And fresh from Boston, our amazing guest musicians, Nadia Washington and Jason Palmer. Pascale, get up here. Pascale, get up here. Thank you so much for being with us. Pascale Florestal is running up to the stage, our theater director. Woo! Thank you so much for being with us. We'll take one more bow. Thank you.